day is a different day, and we'll see if it's Maxter's day, if he has the magic it takes to overcome that lightning in a bottle. DJ Wheat, why don't you take us away, and welcome back once again.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. We're going to kick things off, taking a look through the eyes of nosfa, as he is going to grab that heavy and rail in hand, immediately looking for some action here. First rail shot, and it's going to find absolutely nothing 40, but it doesn't matter. Get that position, hold on to that middle where nosfa is going to want to be, likely. Perfect shot there on that peeker as it comes out a little bit earlier to get some information. And now we will have a fight over the heavy pretty soon. nosfa gets railed, and maxter with the second rail to open up that first frag, but more importantly, open up the opportunity to get that heavy and maybe even, nope, he's not going to get the heavy, but he will get the mega.
Yeah, opts for the mega instead, puts the frag on the board, testing the rail early. maxter not afraid, and neither is nosfa as he chases through the telly. He gets sent for a swim.
Oh, no.
Oh, taking a dip with sync on that one.
I mean, 40, you know what, when you can just stop firing and watch your opponent fall into the void, that means you're pretty damn confident about your position in this map and game. And that's exactly what maxter did. He hit that perfect rocket and then just watched the show. And he did follow up with another one. That's going to put him on the board at 3-0. maxter looking really strong so far here in the opening moments.
Very strong, making a statement out of the gate here. Not even a minute 30 in, and he's 3 frags up. Slowing it down here, grabbing that lower armor shard. Good timing on that one, and now it's just a matter of which item do I want to try and attack. He might be waiting for some sound cues here to figure out where nosfa is. It's heavy technically up first, mega slowly behind. And it's just a matter of what's safer to maxter. It looks like the heavy is going to be the decision there. Does spot out nosfa, tries to go for a little bit of an LG tickle, but just not long enough to get that damage. But really liking the way maxter's starting off this game, Wheat.
Yeah, I mean, maxter's really putting some priority on just his mobility in general. He's been using peeker more as a way to kind of get information and deal a little bit of damage here, but I do think that was a smart move to go ahead and go for the heavy in that last rotation. We are going to have another set of major items hopping up here in a second. Once again, maxter's like, cool, I'm going to take heavy. I know you're going to get mega. We got an LG fight down on the lower levels. Both players very low. Orb's going to be used to get out of there, and a rail does hit. Mega's back up, and nosfa with a kind of 5-head move there. He didn't pick up the mega on the spawn, but was able to get it after that fight there, and that actually kind of kept him alive a little bit longer.
Wow, that rocket pop almost in the rail, but yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, using the items very well. Still trailing by 3, but nosfa needs to be careful. Okay, a little bit of a 180 flick there to take out that peeker. There's the rocket jump up. maxter hears it, wants to get away. Doesn't have best positioning. Almost hits a fantastic fadeaway rail.
Yeah, we're 3 minutes in. I think nosfa's made some really good decisions the last minute or so. He was able to keep the major items away from maxter, which was kind of a nice swing for him. Still not able to capitalize with that first frag, and that's what he's looking for. There's a rocket jump up to the top. Orb seems like it comes out, and there is the rail for an impressive by maxter. Both players so low, and maxter is going to be able to want to get that by the skin of the teeth rail on that one, and that puts maxter up 4-0. Can he get another one? Oh, he does. 5-0 on a conversion that nosfa is not going to be happy with.
And I love the fact that maxter still didn't go for the highlight, 3 for 3, 4 for 4. He just swapped in the machine gun, said, I hit 2, I know he's weak, I just want the frag, and I want to extend this lead. So smart heads-up play from maxter, even under pressure, making the right choices, and that's why this lead is 5-0, but nosfa trying to battle back in the peeker. Get that out of here. No public display of that. nosfa's on the board with his first.
Yeah, it didn't seem like there's a whole lot that maxter had in terms of options there, and nosfa was able to get out with that first frag. Now, he takes a lot of damage in that last exchange. That mega's going to come right back up there, but unfortunately, oh no, he does orb up to the side, doesn't really have anywhere to go. The lightning gun of maxter is trying to lock on, and it's just these hits they keep doing. Oh my god, maxter still manages to get the frag despite the heavy pickup. I guess he denies it, but he's still down by 5. There it is off the spawn. He's able to get one, and we're back to a 4-point game.
And all things considered, I mean, he sacrificed a frag and he stole the heavy, but now nosfa's in a good position after that mega pickup after the respawn to maybe get back in on this. So I like the aggressive play from nosfa, keeping the pressure on, throwing his body at the problem. working out in his favor that time, but maxter seems to have all of the answers. Still up by 4 halfway through this one. nosfa trying to battle back.
5-minute warning.
He's trying to, and we're halfway through this game. I think where it gets a little bit scary is clearly Maxter's shown us the quickness that exists. Hold on, we got to fight at Mega, and Maxter does go down. nosfa eats a rocket, but he still lands the rail. Could be able to get a conversion shot. No, 100 rocket, but it's not going to be enough to get the job done. nosfa knows how low he is. He's going to go in for it. Is he going to regret this decision? The machine gun's out. They will trade. So not too bad, but still down by 4. And as I mentioned, nosfa's got to be scary as we get to these, or got to be aware of when we get to these final moments. And of course, the speediness of maxter could come into play. So that aggression is going to need to turn up a little bit more. If he could close that gap 40, that is going to be a big deal. Unfortunately, the orbs just have not been working out for nosfa the way that I think he would like them to.
I agree, and nosfa just seems to be running into non-stop damage from maxter as the LG so strong. Good LG from below from nosfa here. Peekers in hand as he makes his way over to the Mega, and just so much damage coming out from these players. 61% rail for maxter, 43% LG in comparison to the 37 rail and 32 LG of nosfa. This dude hits hard right now. Wow, that hundo.
Yeah, nosfa in the danger zone yet again. He's got to be really careful here. He throws out the orb. It's just a decoy. Oh, the peeker comes out, immediately goes down with the direct rocket. And I like what maxter's doing here, holding on to that position. We're going to have a rocket jump. nosfa up to that Mega, and the rail will take him out 4 to 10. And it's starting to get further and further away from nosfa here in this first game. You mentioned damage 40 and almost 1,000 points of extra damage coming out by maxter here in this matchup. And it is clearly seen in that score line.
Yeah, I mean, items pretty even. 8 to 6 in terms of heavies, 7 to 6 in terms of megas, but maxter is just hitting so much harder than nosfa right now. He's looking to change history. He doesn't want to lose another time against nosfa, and this is the start you'd want as that shotgun lands 13 to 4 in favor of maxter with no signs of stopping on map number 1.
I'm not sure that I've seen a single orb come out that has either A, resulted in a kill, or B, just resulted in some sort of advantage over your opponent, right? And when you look at kind of what maxter is doing with Strogg and Peeker right now, again, Peeker is not being utilized necessarily as a very offensive, nice bounce. The rail follow-up, but nosfa gets a pixel of his own, 5 to 13. So I just feel like in terms of the champion duel that's happening here, maxter's winning that one. There's another one. That was a pretty good orb for the position. Going to get himself another frag. Can nosfa do it? 2 minutes. There's still time. 40.
Oh,
no,
my
there's
God.
Not. No, there's not. No, there's not.
Shut that down immediately. There's no time for anything. As maxter's like, you stop that right now. nosfa has been an absolute monster at coming back on Awoken, even in OT games. But I don't think this is going to be one of those times, unfortunately for him.
No.
Maxter just seems too strong.
Yeah, and I think just that momentum, he was able to kind of pick it up in that middle of the match and then never really put it down. Almost 10 frag game at this point, and in the last 90 seconds, both players probably going to be thinking a little bit about what is going to happen in this next map on Ruins. So again, I break this one down. Maxter definitely feel like his aim was on point. He's hitting his shots. From a champion perspective, Orb did not do much. Peeker did a lot more. Hey, there you
go. That one was for you, Wheat.
There we go. All right. Well, just scratch all that, you know. But yeah, Maxter just played exactly how he needed to play this game, and nosfa wasn't able to answer.
Dancing around, can't quite get away, so nosfa's going to add a little bit more before we clock this one in as officially over. Trading places, and maxter, well-placed rocket there as nosfa was about to land back on the jump pad. And for those that care, that want to keep track at home, nosfa's playing on 130, maxter at about 90 ping. Because somebody inevitably is like, that's why they're losing, Wheat. So I like to, make them feel at home and welcome as well.
Right.
Oh, maxter's got rails for days.
Yeah, A has just been shutting it down. He's going to end this one with a 64% rail. One thing that's really interesting to look at is the major pickups. 11 heavies for nosfa, 12 megas. But with maxter doing 5,900 damage, he had a fraction of what nosfa had in terms of major item pickups. 7 and 6 on heavy and mega, respectfully. So it all came down to aim. It all came down to the position and hitting those shots. And maxter clearly the winner there.
Yeah, pretty strong opening statement there from Maxter. Again, as Flea mentioned, in the past it's been the nosfa show between these two, and Maxter looking to change that, rewrite a little bit of history, and that's a strong start, taking that first map 17-9 as we take a look at the highlights. nosfa did seem to warm up a little bit near the end there, so maybe some silver linings, but what you said about kind of the ability, like return on investment, that one, sure, he got a couple, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 in total, but he used a lot of dire orbs that just didn't benefit at all.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember back, but the very first peeker that came out in the first, 10, 15 seconds, like, obviously it was not meant to try to kill the opponent. It was just like, where is my opponent and what do I do next, right? And that moment, I think, just pretty much set maxter on a path to, pick up those first 3 frags and then just kind of run away with it. Still a good game, and we're going to be moving on to Ruins now, where we're going to have the Visor versus Galena. And, things could absolutely change here on this one, but I'm pretty satisfied with that, given my prediction. I don't know how you're feeling about that right now.
I feel pretty great. I mean, sure. Not too bad. I am excited to see Visor versus Galena on Ruins. We'll see if nosfa has the foresight to take this map with the game plan that he's been preparing for a while. Knowing that, I mean, in the past he's always won, I'm sure that, losing map number 1's kind of like maybe a wake-up call a little bit, like, hey, what's happening here? I could usually do this, so I'm sure he's got a little something up his sleeve, but I'm just eyeballing Corrupted Keep, man. DK versus Eisen. I know we're going to get to it eventually, but as a decider, it would be even more juicy, so that's what I'm hoping for. I hope nosfa's got a little something for us on Ruins.
I think so. I think if nosfa's really going to be serious about this one, the most important thing is just going to be that totem management, right? Got to be keeping track of where maxter's dropping them, got to be clearing them out. Flea mentioned it earlier, like Ruins is... There's no better place that Galena likes to be. There's so many little hidey places around there. So that will be important, right? Having Piercing Sight is going to help him at least with potentially regaining control over major items, setting up traps as well. And the rail is obviously, I'm guessing, similar to last game, going to be very important in this, especially, I guess from both sides, really. But the big thing for me is just going to be how's nosfa handling those totems, making sure that he doesn't get into a fight where overstack's active, and there's not a whole lot he's going to be able to do.
We'll see. Totem management is key, especially in a map this big where you do have to kind of take time in between the majors to traverse the map. Make sure that you handle those totems, otherwise it could be real bad. But we're going to get into map number 2 here as we are getting into Ruins. And we'll see. Does nosfa have what it takes to send us to a map 3 as the decider? We're live between nosfa maxter, starting off on nosfa, and he's got rocket spawn and that mega. Not popping the vision quite yet, knowing exactly where maxter is. And that might prove to be key here if he gets some good damage.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it always happens. A little trade there. First totem found, eliminated. So, gonna be trying to stay on that. Now, I think that compared to the last game 40, we're definitely gonna have a bit of a slower pace. Things might pick up right after a frag to see if there's any sort of quick conversion, but nosfa is going to grab himself the heavy, and obviously they're just gonna switch up here, but I think it was a wise move for nosfa. He's gonna, again, clear out another totem, so he's thinking about this. Clearly, he's in the right headspace to make something happen here, and I'm excited to see this first battle.
Rails exchange there. There's the vision. Is he going to push in off of this? And he wants a little piece of maxter here, trying to figure out exactly where maxter's going to commit to, but instead he's like, you know what, heavy's coming up, no big deal.
And he grabs it. So again, slow. There's the first rail coming out from nosfa. He sees maxter drop down, or maybe he didn't. I'm not sure. Turns around, another totem taken out. Looking for those exit portals. Maxter, surprise rail from the back. nosfa thinking about potentially fighting this one. He's going to pop vision, and he sees exactly where his opponent is. Rocket jump up to the top the rail, but the rocket to the face, and Maxter picks up a first frag on what I would definitely call a pretty risky move. Oh,
and he does it again!
Steal! That's game confidence right there, 40.
Oh my God, Maxter.
Wow. Just got to let it breathe a little bit, 40, I think. Like, that was such a quick 3 frags for Maxter right there. You know, 2 rocket jumps that absolutely were very risky. nosfa does finally bring it back. We're 2 minutes in. He grabs 1, which is good. I think that getting that frag was certainly important because that had to be a little bit demoralizing, especially on 2 with those popped rocket jumps. Nicely done by Maxter, but nosfa is on the board.
Yeah, good job to stop the bleeding because Maxter was just going to keep making magic happen. And he just seems to get all these highlights on Ruins. I'm starting to think that people should wonder, you know, think about banning this map against Maxter. But it's still a long time to play here as the rocket will land into the pillar. Not exactly where nosfa wanted, but the second one is beautiful into the rail. Very well done there. Again, keeping pace on it, not letting it get out of control. He's only down by 1. He's trying to hunt, make sure the LG's not free. Maxter forcing, trying to hit that rail, but eats 100 damage rockets. So nosfa right back into this one, Reed.
That was a toe rocket, 40. I mean, like, that did not look like it was going to do full damage. And look at that, up the jump pad, the rocket to the rail combo, 3-3, and in a position where he could absolutely convert here. He does not have vision. Obviously, that was just up, but he's going to grab the mega. And he's in a good spot right now. Nice stack if he can get a rail. There's the first one over by that light armor. Going to try to finish things up here with the machine gun. He's got Maxter trapped in the back. He should absolutely be able to get this frag, and he does. Relying on the rail to get the killing blow. And then over near the heavy, big LG damage. Oh, he can't clean it up, 40. Just a 25 left on Maxter, and that is so unfortunate. I'm sure nosfa would have loved to have a 2 frag advantage here in this game.
Oh, and he almost gets another attempt at it as he drops down for the rail, but nosfa doing a great job of turning the tides in his favor. There's the vision, and he says, Maxter, you think you're smarter, but I'm Visor, as he gets great damage, and Maxter hanging on by a thread. Can nosfa find a little bit of chip? Oh, it's just missing out. Machine gun, please. But he's going to deny this armor shard. He's going to make it back to the heavy, and he's going to keep map control. He just spotted out, and that's it. That was enough to plan him.
Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, I love it. Kind of the double check there. He saw him right out of the corner of his eye. He peeked back, landed the perfect rail, and then look at this monster. We have a Jekyll and Hyde situation here, 40, where suddenly the monster has come out on nosfa's side, and he has suddenly turned this game that he was down 3 by into a 7 frag run to give him the 4-point lead. And you asked for that potential tiebreaker on the next map, and 40, your wish may be granted.
I think it's going to happen. I believe in the magic, as nosfa he's heated up. And he's serving it up hot and fresh here, catching out. Maxter just missing out on that damage. He was willing to go rail to rocket on that one, Wheat. That's how confident nosfa is right now.
He deserves that confidence, honestly, in this game so far. We're halfway through this game. He's got that 4 frag lead. It's by no means over, and he's still got to be playing to, you know, with full caution here, of course, especially after the last game. Maxter, someone who can turn the tables in a second, just like he did there down by the heavy. He steals away that rail, and that's going to be a big blow for nosfa. He's going to have to figure out how he's going to be able to sneak in there and grab it, because Maxter's on the hunt. Rail coming out. First one misses. Some machine gun damage does land onto Maxter, and nosfa trying to just slow down and take a breath here as the heavy is going to be up. Is Maxter going to go in for it? Rockets raining down. There's the vision to try to get it. 1, 2, 3 rockets connect. Not a whole lot of damage. nosfa's got to get out there and be careful. He knows what his opponent's capable of with the rocket jump up to mega.
And oh, Maxter almost. He was waiting for the double back and just the timing of it all. nosfa will get away, but he's still so weak. He's still railable.
Yeah. And that's a scary place to be. There he's back up, but no armor stack at all. He wants to protect and hold on. Oh, one totem taken out. The face. Oh no! That totem is the hero of the game, 40. Oh my God, Maxter's still down by 2, but that was a huge rail and frag for Maxter.
Yeah, totem MVP. As Maxter takes advantage of that. nosfa really wants that rocket. It's going to disappear right in front of him. A bit of an oasis there. As he does have a rail, nice shot. Nice fancy footwork here, avoiding more damage as he grabs that armor shard. So Heavy will go to Maxter, but positioning here for nosfa. And look at that, just flying up the stairs, and there's the rocket jump again! The rail will land this time, and nosfa will survive another onslaught from Maxter, but keeping nosfa on his toes. Maxter with these rocket jumps, just not afraid to be aggressive and get in his face.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting to watch, but definitely a little scary because it can be risky. I mean, in most of the cases, he's sort of surprised nosfa, and we are going to have Heavy going to Maxter's side. Neither player with a huge stack, which is a little bit odd considering that one of them has typically had a better stack throughout the game. We'll see how this one is going to play out, but I think with 2 minutes left, it's still within the realm of possibility that Maxter is able to find 2 and bring it back. He might have to accelerate his speed just a little bit. You're going to try to go after nosfa. First missed rail, immediately going to turn around, knows that Heavy is about up, and he'll grab that, and this is going to be the golden 2 minutes here. As he needs to get these 2 frags to at least tie it up.
Another great rail after a rocket jump. Maxter paying the price, but all in all wins the positioning on the major. So net victory for Maxter, even though it's so risky. Full clinch every time he rocket jumps up, but you know, if it works, sure, why not? nosfa hanging on by 100 HP in a single armor point. Trying to hug the ropes for 1:20, but he can't. Gets caught at the eyeball. Maxter melts him with plenty of time to get the second frag he needs to tie it at 7.
That's real bad. Less than, well, about a minute and a half, less than a minute and a half left to go. He grabbed the Heavy, and I think is going to be able to grab the Mega here as well, and there it is. So suddenly, nosfa not only losing that frag, but oh no, the LGs, he drops down to the rocket! I saw it like in slow motion. 40 were tied up 7-7, but Maxter, no armor stacks. Got to be careful here. He's going to probably keep on trying to deny that rail from nosfa, which I think is just the smartest thing that he could do right now. The rocket jump up to the top to get position for that Mega. And will we take it to overtime, or is Maxter going to bring this one back?
Maxter just wants to end this. He wants to win this 2-0, taking us to the third for a potential 3-0 to shatter what used to happen in the past in the history books as nosfa backed up into a huge rocket into rail with 15 seconds. That could have been the 2-piece that puts Maxter over, as he's really putting the no in nosfa in his plea for a third map as a decider.
Wow. That looks like it is going to be it. I mean, caught underneath that column, that perfect 100 HP rocket into the rail in the corner. And I mean, imagine even if that rail hadn't hit, you know, nosfa is going to find himself in a position where, you know, what do you do from that point? You go back to the light armor, you try to bring it back. I mean, I think once Maxter knew I've got him in this corner, I think that was the key to just take it into the next gear and go for it. Really unfortunate, though, because you think about that 7-frag rally that nosfa had after a 3-frag lead from Maxter, and that was awesome. I thought for certain he was going to take it, but we mentioned, like, especially on Ruins, even 6 minutes in, that 4-frag lead doesn't mean a whole lot, and Maxter just proved why.
Yeah, absolutely insane play from Maxter. Just very aggressive, but at the right times, taking those risks, making them count. And there's that play that you were talking about that put him over the edge. Even after that 100 damage rocket, there was really nowhere nosfa could go. It's just a matter of time. That was going to be the last frag, the last battle of the game, and Maxter had him dead to right. So he takes map number 2, 8-7. He takes the set 2-0 as we are going to get into the third. And it is going to be DK and Eisen, but I mean, I can't help but feel like a little less is on the line. Maxter playing for the 3-0, which he would love, but I would have loved to see it as a decider. But Maxter's just too strong. He denies us the ability to see this one as a decider.
Yeah, and you know we got an exciting game of Quake out of it regardless. So I still think this is going to be a good high pitch, or high energy match. But yeah, it is too bad. It's too bad. I'm not that sad about it. It just would have been nice to take that drama all the way to game number 3. But let's see what happens between this DK. I mean, frankly, the way Maxter's been playing, right? The aggression he's shown, the rocket jumps, etc. Give us that version of the DK, and I'm gonna be loving it. So,
yeah, I totally agree. And a credit to where credit's due. Maxter has broken the curse. He got over the hump. He beat his end boss.
He did.
Working on the 3-0. That would be quite the way to overcome the end boss. So we'll see. nosfa still has something hopefully left in the tank that he could show us. A 2-1 wouldn't be all bad, but Maxter's smelling that 3-0 for sure.
Yeah, he's and I'm sure would gladly take that one. We mentioned that Maxter's in a number 9 spot with nosfa number 10. It means that Maxter will definitely hold on to that spot. Whether he moves up a rank, we'd have to look at the overall scores. But yeah, 3-0 would be a nice victory, as you and Flea both mentioned. This is something historically hasn't happened before. Definitely a nice little barrier to break through.
Definitely, for sure. Maxter, 71% predicting his victory and his 3-0 here, which, based on the performance of the first 2 maps, you can't even be angry at it. At this point, it's all nosfa to just kind of make an upset happen on map number 3.
Yes, and I would not be unhappy to see that. So we are live now on Corrupted Keep, and we're going to be kicking things off through the eyes of nosfa. Has that Eisen in hand. And I think the DK is definitely something we're going to be keeping an eye on. There we see flames coming out right away. nosfa does do some damage. Maxter with a little bit of his own as well. Has to be careful here. Oh my gosh. Pinned to the wall. Maxter first frag. Even a rocket off the spawn. And Maxter is looking good so far in the first 30 seconds.
Just so worried about his safety as Eisen, actually Timmy popping off a little bit. For nosfa there, Maxter making a safe passage to the heavy, grabbing those vials, and he's going to have that flame strike back, which could be absolutely brutal. On the previous one, it didn't actually look like he caught him on fire, so it just did the burst damage.
Right.
But not the tick damage, which that is one of the biggest pain points here. You get hit by that flame strike and start burning down, it's over, because it tracks you just like Sorlac spit. There it is. Needs to be careful, needs to have fancy footwork here and not get caught. And it looks like, again, he's just dodging these things pretty well. Wheaton, there it is. What a frag from nosfa.
Yeah, double back didn't work out for Maxter right there. nosfa capitalizes, ties this game back up, and we're going to be looking through his eyes again. And so far, burst potential. Oh, through the teleporter. Oh, my God. Gets stuck to the wall a little bit more. Both players very, very even. So close. Rocket almost hitting. Machine gun damage coming out. And nosfa does grab it, but he's got to be careful off the spawn. A long time until Mega does grab the 225s right next door. And another 100 damage rocket. These guys are just brawling.
Love it. And a beautifully placed rocket there using the map to his advantage to get the splash damage, get the frag. Maxter almost hits another one as nosfa skips over that one. A little bit of hopscotch. Maxter just waiting around the corner. A little bit of a tickle here. nosfa does have Timmy to deploy if he wants some extra firepower here.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know exactly how he's necessarily using it right now. Oh, there the flames come out, and he's on fire. Just not the way that he'd like to be. Does manage to get rid of that. And Maxter on the chase yet again as we're tied 2-2. There we have the rockets hitting again. And Maxter down to 14. nosfa finally cleans it up. Maxter gave a single clap and shook his head no.
Oh, playing in the fire. He gets the Mega, gets the frag.
Oh, no.
Wow, what a play.
Was burning down. 2 minutes and 25, or actually almost 3 minutes now, 40, and it's just a lot of action both ways. these players are just like, nope, I'm going to throw a hardier punch than you are, and the double barrel shotgun is going to do that right there again for Maxter. As we now have a 1-point game. nosfa's still in the lead. Can he hold on to it? He wasn't able to in game 2, but he's going to try here in game 3.
Wow, just so much damage as nosfa just peppering with the nail gun. And yeah, I mean, this is a boxing match, but it's just haymakers for days right now. And nosfa's on fire, and he's going to get burned down. Doesn't even make it to the health in the boneyard. Maxter very weak. nosfa looking for the refrag. Needs to be careful not to overcommit, though. Mega is up shortly. There's the Timmy deployed. He's going to reposition and fight from down below. And he is going to ward off Maxter, it appears.
That tie did not necessarily change how these two were playing at all. Just kind of still going for it. The heavy's going to be picked up by nosfa as Maxter still on the hunt. In main room, we do have Flame Strike come out, but nosfa with another easy frag. And he picks that up to give himself another 1-point lead.
Repositions the Timmy right behind the lightning gun. Very dangerous spot to get caught out in, especially with, you know, a turret there. It's an absolute nightmare. So I like that play from nosfa. Has timing on the Mega perfectly and can make it back to the heavy. Spots out Maxter, has both majors and should have all the information. And this is his Night of the Roxbury. Little bit of a pop-off from Timmy, just 15 damage, but more importantly, Maxter is stuck.
Yeah, and he does go down. nosfa kind of ducking into the back room, but then immediately coming back off to finish him off. 6-4 now. Both of our major items about to be up, but nosfa happy for this little parade of Maxter that keeps coming towards him. As long as he keeps hitting that damage, he should be able to keep on grabbing those frags. So is the 3-0 out of sight? Not necessarily. There's still half a game left to go, and at the pace that these two players are running, yes, they will both be out of breath by the end, but I do not think that they are going to let up at all, as nosfa leads by 3, exactly what we saw in the previous game.
Absolutely love to see it. The Flame Strike comes out. Mega deals with that immediately, so no burning for nosfa here. Does need to try and make a break for it, but he can't. So he does concede the heavy instead, opting for the armor shard, which is the safer play, but more importantly, he's running out of LG. Shit sells weed, and he goes up the jump pad. 2 hondos! Oh, but the shotgun's quicker from Maxter, but that could have been quite the play there. Very close to getting the Hail Mary frag.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, look at Maxter's health, right? Like, if he hadn't hit those 2, that would have been a real dangerous frag for nosfa, right? That was a lot of LG damage. Those 2 direct rockets absolutely helped him out in that situation. He still has the lead, but that could have been real bad if those rockets hadn't hit. So I'm sure he's at least a little bit thankful that he was able to connect with those. Less than 4 minutes left to go. Maxter still trying to pull something together here to make it happen, as he's in the back hallways being very patient. He's moves up, LG out again, throws out the nukes, not going to do enough, and nosfa capitalizes on what did not work out for Maxter.
I'm just wondering if nosfa can hit anything but direct rockets.
Yeah.
This guy's serving up dunks right now. It is absolutely insane. And here's the play from nosfa to make sure that the, you know, positioning of Maxter is punished yet again as he's stuck behind the statue at LG. A little bit of LG battle here. Maxter turning it around, though. nosfa has to be careful, and he's going to escape, and somehow one stray bullet finds Maxter. But nosfa's real weak.
That was nice. It was a good commitment to the kill. Picked up the 2 25s there right afterwards in the red room. Nicely done. 3 minutes left to go. nosfa trying to bring it back further and further. Once again, Maxter finds himself behind the head of the demon statue and is like, God, why do I keep ending up here? This time, nosfa doesn't necessarily have the ability to capitalize on that. So trying to sneak around, setting up a little trap. This time, LG nosfa's he turns him down with that electricity. 5 frag lead now, and nosfa looks like he is getting closer and closer to securing victory here in map number 3.
Definitely looking strong, not giving up the items, doing all of the damage he needs to do, but now he's getting floated. Maxter just like that. Right back into this as he claims his first comeback frag in the Boneyard. Still down 4, catches him out. Shotgun blast from Maxter, reigns supreme. Maxter a little bit weak, but he's trying to get this Mega. If he can, he could string together some more damage and potentially get back in on this with 2 minutes. Danger, danger, danger for nosfa.
Danger indeed. nosfa's going to grab that heavy. It's going to put him in a good spot here. Now he goes into turtle mode. Back hallway, just kind of chilling a little bit. Maxter running around. Knows probably exactly where he's at. There he's going to go in for it. 1 rocket fired does not do anything. And he pretty much has a chance here. Coming around from the side. Does manage to do a little bit of damage, but not a whole lot. nosfa now running. Not sure where Maxter is. He does hit some defensive rockets. That's going to help out a ton now behind. We got the flames coming out. He's going to grab that Mega. Beautiful shotgun jumping over the top. And now he has about a minute, 20 seconds to try to make it happen. Sees his opponent over by the heavy, shotgun in hand. LG out for Maxter, and he makes it a 1 frag game. No! Are we going to see a repeat of history from game number 2? 1 minute for Maxter to make the dream happen.
Maxter, how much magic do you have, sir? It's the LG not landing, and now Maxter has to be careful. He is going to grab the Mega for free. nosfa just trying to hang on for dear life. Only has rockets to work with. A little bit of nail and shotgun as well. Here comes the flame strike. Here comes Maxter. nosfa's trapped. Can't really get away. Now it's a game of ring around the rosy. There's the shotgun. nosfa's so weak, and Maxter, he's weak too. He doesn't want to chase. He doesn't want to gamble it. He wants to use this 30 seconds to try and get at least 1 more Mega, potentially. Tribolt doing some good damage, pushing him forward. The shotgun, 2 HP, down to 27 after a pickup. He's got an armor shard, but he's only got 20 seconds to chase. He hears it, and he gets it! Timmy almost takes him out. We're tied at 10, but Maxter is so weak. DJ Wheat, what does he do?
Well, he grabs that 25 and the heavy. That might secure him at least overtime at this point, but Maxter's been so patient in that last minute, and that's what allowed him to finally get that frag. Sudden death is declared, and we're now up 10 apiece, and it's coming down to the wire. This wasn't the decider map 40, but it is still exciting nonetheless.
Oh no, big damage from around the corner, unreturned from nosfa. He does deploy the Timmy for a little bit of insurance if Maxter were to push in, but instead just flame strikes, backs away, and more importantly, grabs those vials available to him to get the flame strike back for the next fight. nosfa caught in a bad way here.
Yeah, LG did come out through the teleporter. Maxter took some damage. Those defensive rockets from nosfa have continued to be good, but the vials picked up yet again for Maxter means he's going to have another nuke coming out here. Sees his opponent on the bridge, fires a rocket. nosfa decides to double back and now heading over towards that Mega. Flames come out, and nosfa is low, but it looks like might live to see another day. Both of our majors are up, but nosfa nowhere near that heavy. Is he going to retreat back? Maxter's at the top of the statue, and it looks like he will.
Comes back for more LG on LG. Maxter's ready. A little bit of rocket damage around the corner. nosfa's lands, but then a direct in retaliation. That's going to send nosfa packing. Maxter heard Timmy deployed at rocket. Still needs to be careful not to back up into a dangerous situation. He's down to 90 HP, no armor, making his way to the heavy, but that's not it. The items are flipped in Maxter's head.
They are. The Mega got picked up. nosfa now, look at him barreling towards that major item. LG's coming out. Oh, Maxter down to 40. Turret comes out, and nosfa sees it, goes in for the LG grab and gets it. And he does manage to bring a game his way. A 1-point game. 2 in a row, actually. Very, very exciting conclusion to the overall series. Despite the fact that Maxter took it in game 2, that was such a treat. We should bring Flea in and see his thoughts on this perfectly predicted match by DJ Wheat.
Well done, Wheat, well done. Yeah, that was an interesting one. One of the highest flying games of the day. Our boys sure brought that South American heat to the Quake Pro League, because what a matchup it was. So we started it off. Wheat, I think you made some very good points that the orb being used by nosfa playing Ranger on Awoken just really wasn't working out for him all that well. For the first half of the game, even more than that, it really seemed like he never got much of value out of it, whereas the Strock and the Peaker were just constant threats. Now map 2 was a lot more balanced. nosfa making really good use of his ability this time around, getting so much information out of that visor, and then at one point he was 4 frags up or so, but then it all started falling apart, slipping out from in between his fingers, and then maxter managed to make a huge comeback in the end with some really good LG fights, proving just how good his aim can be. And then that final map, it was an interesting one, because it felt like for so much of what I was watching, it seemed like maxter was getting all the flashy plays. He was making everything happen with that flame strike, whereas the Timmy and the turret just didn't see that much action or wasn't that impactful. But then at one point it just flipped, and all of a sudden nosfa started stringing together frags. But again, kind of the same situation started happening towards the end. Frags slipping out from underneath him until it was a tied game. And then 40 had the most insightful comment there, going, well, the items are flipped in his head, and that was a critical mistake on maxter's end. Maxter really did think that Heavy was about to spawn when it was actually Mega, and so he was just sitting around waiting. And by the time he realized this mistake, nosfa had already picked up the Mega and was rushing towards him across the map to secure Heavy as well, and that just spelled disaster. So really good series. I'm happy to see that maxter managed to buck the trend and finally get a win over nosfa, but still, nosfa, the Brazilian, put up a really good fight in maps 2 and 3.
Incredibly close set. I mean, like you said, maxter is able to kind of say, you know, history's not going to repeat itself, but nosfa was so close. As Wheat mentioned, that 7 frag run on Ruins looked unstoppable. Maxter just had that magic to make it happen. Almost did it on the 3rd map, but nosfa was just like, I'm done with this. Enough is enough.
Yeah, in other news, nosfa's rocket launcher is going to be joining the QPL next season, so be looking forward to that. I mean, honestly, nosfa's rockets, both offensively and defensively, were so spectacular this entire match. But I mean, maxter was consistent through and through. So nicely done. Even the final map was just phenomenal, considering that it had already been decided. But that was a great one to see, and boy, am I excited for the next one.
Ooh, yeah, that was just the first featured match. That's a bit of an appetizer. We have a whole meal coming up. It's going to be Wenger versus Rafa. It's going to be some Italian meatballs, a little bit of sausage. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the last featured match of the day. Don't go anywhere.